Hi, everybody. It's Mrs. Mills. Welcome back to Humanities. Just wanted to go over what we're going to be doing today and give you a little background information to get you started. So let's look at our objective for the day, which is I can cite textual evidence that supports an analysis of a primary secondary source, as well as I can determine the main idea presented in a source and provide an accurate summary. So those are both things that we did last week. So let's take a quick look at our essential question. Our essential question was, what was Charles Hamilton Houston's contribution to the civil rights movement? One of the things that you guys let me know in terms of what you're interested in learning more about is that you are interested in learning more about some of the people you haven't heard about in terms of the civil rights movement. There were so many people who did things that made a difference, and very few of them are as famous as a Rosa Parks or a Martin Luther King Jr. So Charles Hamilton Houston is one of those folks who maybe not everybody knows his name, and they really should. So we're going to look at a little bit about what he was responsible for. And our journal question today, which you filled out as part of your due now, is what policy in the South resulted from the decision in Plessy v. Ferguson? So hopefully you got that one right if you did the work from Friday. And our agenda for the day. So you've done your due now. You're listening to me now, and we're going to go over some additional key terms and dates to put in your notebook. Then you're going to have some independent work. That's going to involve reading the biography of Charles Houston, as well as watching two short videos. One of those videos includes primary source material, in which are films that Houston himself shot. And I'm going to ask you to summarize those in your own words. So sometimes when we summarize, we'll be summarizing a text and putting it in our own words. And other times it'll be a more visual asset. It can be something like a journal or a map or something like that. In this case, it's going to be films that Houston shot in order to help make his case for desegregating schools. And then after the independent work, you'll have your exit ticket. Obviously, if at any time you have questions or problems, concerns, you can email me. I'll be speaking to a lot of you today for your check-ins at some point, but any time, if you run into a situation where you don't know what to do or you're confused, feel free to shoot me an email. We can either troubleshoot it and I can help clarify for you on email, or I can potentially set up a call and we can just jump on the phone and do a Google Hangout so that I can clarify the material. So key terms and dates that you're going to write down. Obviously, the nice thing about this video is you can pause it so that you can write. So the civil rights movement can sometimes be hard to give a beginning and end to because it really depends on which historian you're talking to. However, for our purposes, we're going to call the start of the civil rights movement 1948, when President Truman issued an executive order to end segregation in the armed services. And we're going to call the end of it the passing of the Civil Rights Act of 1968, which was also known as the Fair Housing Act, which provided an equal opportunity for housing regardless of race, religion, or national origin. So another term I want you to have down is precedent. In law, that's a previous case or legal decision that may be followed in future cases. Then we have Charles Hamilton Houston, who was the chief attorney for the NAACP. He was responsible for the strategy that ultimately led the Supreme Court to call segregation of schools unconstitutional. And I've got here now Plessy v. Ferguson, since we studied it on Friday. That was the decision in 1896 by the Supreme Court that established the separate but equal doctrine that was followed all over the South. All right, so you're going to read the biography and watch the two brief videos. The next video of me is actually reading through the biography of Charles Hamilton Houston. For those of you who would prefer not to have me read along, you can certainly read it on your own if you choose. But I wanted to have both options available because some of the words in that are pretty complicated or might be new words. All right, thank you so much, and I will talk to you all soon.